Our lead story is from the United States as the country wakes up to fresh clashes and violence that seem to be unfolding yet again in campuses between rival groups. Tensions seem to have escalated in California campus after, according to university administrators, they declared for the first time that the pro-Palestinian encampment on the campus was illegal. At the University of California, Los Angeles Vice Chancellor Mary Osako has said, and I quote her, horrific acts of violence occurred at the encampment tonight. She claimed the university immediately called law enforcement for mutual aid support. According to an eyewitness who spoke to the BBC, a university security team stood back and watched as they thought they could no longer safely hold the space between the attackers and the encampment. Footage online seems to have appeared that show masked counter-demonstrators supporting Israel, attacking their rivals with sticks and attempting to dismantle barricades. I'm being joined at this point by Rishabh. Rishabh, violence continues on campuses. In fact, the fresh round of violence being reported in the Los Angeles campus in UCLA. How is this likely to unfold? Particularly, there seems to be reports of Indian students also who have been part of protests in different campuses in the United States. Do we have anything latest from the government as fresh violence breaks?
Well, if we talk about the violence in New York, in Columbia University, things are right now at peace, but definitely the critics are now saying that the action taken against students and faculty members on campus in University of Columbia is something that is uncalled for. The freedom of expression of students have been hampered. While things are good, turning better at the eastern coast, at western coast, in California, especially in UCLA for that matter, things are turning violent. The counter protests have clashed, and the university administration has now called in police forces to ensure that these clashes can be stopped. Remember, this is happening for the first time that the administration has said the encampment is illegal on campus. And it's not only in California or in Columbia, but be it in Texas, be it in Indiana, be it in, Illinois, everywhere, various universities of US is right now witnessing protests which are pro-Palestinian in nature. And what are the demands? The demands are very clear. These universities have their stakes in Israeli investments, Israeli companies, and even support the research of Israel government and Israel government-backed agencies that should be disinvested. This is what the students have been calling for. A lot of pressure on the government as well, because if we talk about the politics, the internal politics of United States, we need to understand one thing. Most of the Republicans do not go for the higher education, while the Democrats go for it. If we talk about these protests, the major people who are protesting are bona fide Democrat supporters. And that's the reason that there's a huge pressure on Biden administration as well right now to ensure that things don't go out of hand, especially in the universities. But things haven't been better in last 1 week or so.
Absolutely. In fact, Rishabh, if you look at it, things seem to escalate even as we speak. So the situation doesn't sound very good. Do we have any word or estimates of what could be the numbers of Indian students, or how is government looking at the situation that is rising in different campuses across the United States?
Especially if we talk about the western coast for that matter, Sneha, the California is hub of Indian diaspora. Los Angeles has the maximum number of Indian diaspora when it comes to United States. And that's the reason that UCLA would have a lot of people either from Indian origin or people who are Indian citizens living in California. And that's the reason that Indian government is looking at these protests very closely. Last week around, when there was a press conference from External Affairs Ministry, we did pose this question to them, that how do they see these on-campus protests? And the External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal was very clear that we are monitoring the situation in US, and people are judged by their conduct back home, which means the United States is being judged worldwide by the way they are, responding to these protests on campuses in various parts of the United States. Remains to be seen how things unfold. As of
Absolutely.
now, the numbers are very unclear, given that it's still an ongoing situation. So we'll have to wait for the numbers to come in.
Right. Rishabh, thank you very much for putting everything in perspective. Of course, the situation only seems to be escalating in several campuses in United States, particularly UCLA being on the radar or right on the focus as of now.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.